is a unique phenomenon. We are yet to find it elsewhere in universe. Life is tenacious. And it completely permeates the surface layer of the planet. We find life beneath the deepest ocean, on the highest mountain, in the driest desert, and the coldest glacier, and deep down in the crustal rocks and sediments. We do not know the true number of species on Earth, even to the nearest number of magnitude. It can be 10 million to 30 million. For every species that is alive today, perhaps 1,000 more have lived previously and become extinct. Most of these extinctions occurred even before humans evolved. This is a natural process called the background rate of extinction, or the number of extinctions that would be occurring naturally in the absence of human influence. This includes pseudo-extinctions, or transformation of the original or ancestral species by evolution into another species. For the past 600 million years, the background rate of extinction was 1 to 10 species per year. But in 1988, Earth lost one species every day. Today, it is 137 species a day, or 50,000 species per year. At the current rate, we will have life on Earth only for 600 years more if the number of species is 30 million, only for 200 years if it is 10 million. But this rate is increasing. This is called an extinction crisis. There are 5 widely recognized major mass extinction episodes in the Earth's history, and many scientists believe that we have now entered the 6th. In the past, mass extinctions have been caused by climate change, extreme geological activity, huge meteors colliding with the Earth, or other natural factors. The 6th great extinction episode has been precipitated by human activities, and it appears to be happening very quickly. Mass extinction episodes represent major collapses of biodiversity and ecosystems. And if human beings think that this will not affect them, they are mistaken. The only species that are likely to survive mass extinctions are widespread generalists such as cockroaches and weeds. Scientists think that the rate of extinction is becoming what it was 65 million years ago. That's when many believe a giant meteorite struck the Earth, causing a dramatic climate change that led to mass extinction. "30 million years later, things were pretty much back to normal, with different species. Dinosaurs were gone, mammals were here. Unlike then, we cannot count on time to heal the Earth's wounds. The current extinction crisis should be stopped. Human beings have created the factors of mass extinction. They can create the solutions that will reverse the current extinction crisis. The following are some of the major international conventions on life and environment in general. Sri Lanka is a party to all the conventions referred to in this presentation. The National Environmental Authority Act number 47 of 1980 is a major legislation in this area. It establishes a central environmental authority by Section 2. According to Section 10, subsection 1, the authority has following powers, functions and duties: to administer the provisions and regulations made under the Act, to make recommendations to the Minister with regard to national environmental policy, etc., to undertake surveys and investigations regarding pollution, to conduct, etc., research in relation to environmental degradation or prevention thereof, to specify standards, norms and criteria for the protection of beneficial uses and maintaining environmental quality, to publish reports and information regarding environmental protection, to investigate into complaints, to specify methods of taking samples and making tests, to educate public regarding protection and improvement of the environment, to establish and maintain liaison with other countries and international organizations with respect to environmental protection and management, to report to the Minister regarding protection and management of the environment, desirable amendments, and on matters referred to by the Minister, to promote and carry out long-range planning in environmental protection and management, and to encourage and promote converting and utilizing residue. Part 4 of the Act deals with environmental management. New parts were added by amendments in 1988. Part 4b deals with environmental quality. The amended provisions enacted laws that protect, preserve, and conserve the four main spheres of life on Earth. They are the atmosphere, the gaseous envelope that surrounds the Earth and constitutes the transition between its surface and the vacuum of space. The hydrosphere, all water on Earth. The geosphere, the solid Earth that includes continental and oceanic crust, as well as the various layers of the Earth's interior, and the biosphere, the life zone of the Earth that includes all living organisms including humans and all organic matter that has not yet decomposed. Section 23K, subsection 1 of National Environmental Act makes pollution of the atmosphere so as to become detrimental to the health, welfare, safety, or property of human beings, poisonous or harmful to animals, birds, wildlife, plant, all other forms of life, or detrimental to any beneficial use of the atmosphere, an offense. Sections 23H1 and 23N1 make pollution of the inland waters and pollution of soil or surface of any land offenses of similar nature, respectively. A fine not less than rupees 10,000 and not exceeding rupees 100,000, and thereafter, in the event of the offence being continued to be committed, a fine of rupees 500 for each day on which the offence is so continued to be committed can be imposed. There are provisions to compel the convicted to remove the cause of pollution, etc., and provisions that empowers the magistrate's court to cause the closure of the factory. Unlike the traditional legislation focusing only or mainly on protection of human life, the amended provisions cover acts harmful to animals, birds, wildlife, fish, plants, or other forms of life, or detrimental to any beneficial use made of the environment. This is a salient feature as it recognizes that human beings, however much technologically advanced they may be, still form part of the living organism called the Earth. We shall now briefly examine the main spheres protected by the provisions of the National Environmental Authority Act, and other relevant legislation. To understand the real importance of the atmosphere, it is pertinent to consider how it evolved. The Earth's air presents a cosmic anomaly. The elements that largely compose it are rare in the universe, and conversely, the elements most common in the universe, such as hydrogen and helium, are relatively scarce in our atmosphere. Oxygen and nitrogen, the two gases vital for life, are so scarce in space, but they are in abundance in Earth's atmosphere. How did this happen? It is believed that 4.3 billion years ago, atmospheric water was photodisassociated by ultraviolet light, releasing oxygen atoms which formed the ozone layer. The Earth became cooler in due course and accepted its first rains that formed seas from 3.8 billion years ago. By 3.5 billion years ago, the first plants, blue-green algae, flourished in seas, starting photosynthesis, nature's method of converting sun's energy into food, releasing oxygen molecules into the atmosphere, steadily strengthening the ozone layer, and changing the Earth's chemically reducing atmosphere into a chemically oxidizing one. Important international conventions relating to the atmosphere are Vienna Convention for the Protection of Ozone Layer, Montreal Protocol on Substances that Deplete the Ozone Layer, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The principal provision in local legislation is found in Section 23K(1) of the National Environmental Authority Act. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the world's leading body assessing climatic change, recently estimated that by the end of the 21st century, the global temperatures will rise an additional 3 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Laws relating to the protection of endangered species. But today's lawmakers and courts should view the problem from a wider perspective of protecting whole ecosystems that collectively form the ultimate organism, the Earth. This is not difficult for a nation founded on a message brought from Emperor Asoka of India by his son Arahat Mahinda, who said, "O great king, the birds of the air and the beasts on the earth have an equal right to live and move about in any part of this land as thou. The land belongs to the people and all other beings, and thou art only the guardian of it." Those protecting the environment traditionally evolved on two main streams. They are as measures to preserve endangered species of higher animals for aesthetic and cultural value, or to exploit nature's riches for the advantage of the humankind. Civilization responds perfunctorily to the threat of extinction of individual species, especially large mammals, but there is no basic understanding of the wiping out of whole ecosystems by airfields, agriculture, housing projects, and urbanization. Mammals are only 1%, and vertebrates only 3% of all species. It is well to save the California condor and Indian elephant, but we must understand that they are only particular organisms in a web of life. It is the destruction of the web of life that has caused the condor and elephant to be on the edge of extinction. Today, therefore, laws should be enacted and those that are there should be administered with a view to protect whole ecosystems. It is well to remember the following words of the Red Indian Chief Seattle to President Franklin Pierce of United States, who offered to buy the land of the Red Indians in 1854. How can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? The idea is strange to us. If you do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can you buy them? Every part of this earth is sacred to my people. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The deer, the horses, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The rocky crest, the juices in the meadows, the body heat of the pony, and man all belong to the same family. Shining water that moves in the streams and the rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors.